Hi there, Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Nagina Matiza. I hope you're doing great. I am back with another tasty recipe and I do hope that you enjoy it. All right, so I am making Methi Aloo or fenugreek leaves with potatoes. This is a very popular dish in Punjab side of Pakistan and India. In terms of ingredient, I've got a very few ingredients that I'll be using. So I've got turmeric powder. I've got coriander powder, Kashmiri red chili, salt, and cumin seeds. So these are the spices that you will, or I'll be using to cook this tasty vegetable dish. In terms of fresh ingredients, I've got fresh ginger root. I've peeled it already. Once you cut this should equal to about 1.5 tablespoons. I'm going to finely chop it. Excuse me. And I've got about 4 bunches of fenugreek leaves, so this should be sufficient for that. I've got about a medium-sized onion that I'm going to also chop into smaller pieces. I have 3 Yukon Gold potatoes. For the amount that I'm making, this should be good enough. I love Yukon Gold. I mean, you can use red potatoes or white potato, but I love the yellow flesh Yukon Gold. I think they taste the best when cooked with spices. So I've got that over here. I'm also going to chop them into smaller size pieces. But let me show you the task that's going to take you the most amount of time. Number one, don't do what I did. And I didn't realize that this, when I bought it, I bought 4 bunches of fenugreek leaves and they were kind of folded like this. I didn't realize that they were folded. So now I've got a whole bunch of this vegetable that I have to cook and make sure that it gets finished. So cleaning this is the most time-consuming and tedious thing you can do. Cooking it within 15 to 20 minutes is done. So this is going to take me most amount of time, but cleaning this is very tricky. You can't use the stems because they are quite bitter. So what you should do, or what I have seen my mom or my mother-in-law do, is they take the stem and they will just take the leaves off. So the easiest way to do is, I've seen them actually take it, like sort of rip it apart, but every time I'm doing it, it kind of breaks. So here, so you take this, break that, then you grab the stem and go the opposite direction, and all the leaves will come off, or not. But you know what, I'm gonna do my way because it's not working. So just quickly take the leaves off and then use your knife and cut them into smaller pieces. If you see that any of these branches have buds, I would take those off, because again, fenugreek is a very, very strong, fragrant vegetable. Even when you use it as a garnishing spice, it's very strong. So if you don't take the buds off from the top, it might become a little bitter, and hence you're not also to use the stems. So it's going to take me to clean this off, and I'll come back and show you once I'm ready. So, and then what I'm going to do also is, as I was saying before, is once you take the leaves off, also use your knife to make sure that you chop it into smaller pieces. So when you cook it, there's nothing stringy, or nothing is left long where you can it's not going to look nice. So make sure that you chop it in smaller pieces, and of course not to make sure that you wash it thoroughly, because this vegetable is with roots, and there's a lot of I can feel a lot of mud, and I don't know if it's sand or mud, whatever it is, it's there. So I'm going to nicely first clean it off and then chop it and make sure that it's ready to be cooked. So when I come back, I will show you all the ingredients together, potatoes and onions, and what size you should have them, and then I'll take you over to the stove and we will start cooking. Oh my goodness, finally I finished cleaning and prepping this. It took me at least half an hour to do that. So that's done. And guess who's not making this mistake ever again? Yeah, me. I won't cook this vegetable for a long time now. It takes a lot of time, as I mentioned earlier. So yeah, it took me half an hour. So it's finally done. And I wanted to show you the potato. So this is the size of potato you're looking for. And I was so anxious when I saw the amount that I had to clean. I forgot to mention that you also need fresh tomatoes. So I have about 1.5 tomatoes chopped up here that you will need for this dish as well. And this is how onion is chopped up and finely chopped ginger. So next I am going to take you over to the stove and start the cooking process. But before I go, one quick remedy or a thing I was reading on the computer about fenugreek leaves is that it's actually very beneficial for diabetic patients. Of course, you won't have to add the potatoes, you'll have to nix that. But fenugreek leaves, if you just want to cook it, steam it, if you can eat it as a as a salad, apparently it's really, really good for diabetic patients. So I read that, so I thought I should share that with everybody. But do a little on your own research and see a little bit more, read a little bit more detail about it. But it's a very good vegetable, and yes, it takes a long time to clean, but it's very tasty and cooks pretty fast. So less than half an hour and this dish should be ready. And if honestly today, after going through all this work, if somebody in my family says, why did I make so much, or what is it that I cooked, I am going to lose it. So without any further ado, let's go over to the stove and start the cooking process. All right, so I have added olive oil in this pot. Now I am going to add some cumin seeds, about maybe 1.5 teaspoons of cumin seed, and the chopped onions and ginger. I'm going to let the cumin seed crackle a little bit before adding the ginger and onions. Okay, there you go, this should be good. Okay, what I am going to do is let this cook until golden brown or fragrant, and then I will add the rest of the spices along with tomatoes, and basically making a masala before adding the fenugreek leaves and tomatoes. So this is going to take about a few minutes to nicely saute and turn golden brown, and it's nicely fragrant. That is when I will add the tomatoes and rest of the spices. Okay, let's take a look. Masala should be ready. There we go. You see that? I can still see some chunks of tomatoes, but that's okay, because once I add the potatoes in it and the fenugreek leaves, they're gonna cook together for another like 10 minutes or so, and this should become really nice and smooth. So for now, this is perfectly fine the way it is. You see that? Even if you see a tad bit of tomato chunks or the onion chunks, that should fully cook and be creamy by the time this whole recipe is completed. So there you go. Let's add the potatoes. Okay. Along with potatoes, we're going to add the fenugreek leaves that are nicely cleaned and chopped up. Okay, so you see how much you are looking at, and see the pot is really filled with these, and obviously I also bought a lot too, but by the time it's done cooking, it's like spinach. It's going to be a little bit left. Okay, so let's mix this around slowly, because you don't want to come out of the pot. There you go. I am going to leave this on medium to low heat, cover it up, and let this cook until the potatoes are nice and tender, and the so the fenugreek leaves are also cooked and there is no water. So you'll see once it starts cooking that there's going to be some water that's going to come out of the leaves. So the aim that you are, the texture that you're looking for is no water, tender potatoes, and nicely cooked fenugreek leaves. I'll show you once this is ready. Okay, so Methi aloo is ready. As you can see, all the water has evaporated and it's nicely cooked. Potatoes are nice and tender, and the fenugreek leaves are nicely cooked as well. So let me show you how it looks close up. Okay. Okay, so I don't know about you, but I usually enjoy the dishes the way they are supposed to be eaten. So this particular dish I have had, and I've seen my parents and grandparents make this and eat this like this. So you take a homemade chapati, add some lather some butter on chapati, so it's not like too much butter, but at the same time be a little generous, right? So with that, then you take the veggie that I just made and you add that right on top of the chapati. Okay, so there you go. And then you fold it, then you fold this, okay, and then you slowly take the bite from within the chapati and sabzi on top of it, like that. Okay. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's recipe. Please do remember to subscribe to my channel. Till next time, take care and stay safe.